is colder than a witch's titty in Central Florida. Oh, there it is. There we go. There he is. That's a good one. Good one. That's a good one, guys. Oh, there he is. There we go. Lake Fairview bass biting in the ColdFront. What's up, you guys, and good morning. We are back at it. It is colder than a witch's titty in Central Florida, the biggest cold front of the year. It's in the mid 40s, and I know that doesn't sound low, but it's Florida. It gets cold, and it's all relative, as you know. So it's cold for this area, and unfortunately it's also windy, which has been the trend this year. We're getting cold weather, but we're also getting a lot of wind, which makes it suck, because in the past you'd have calm, nice skies and it was cold. Hopefully that's coming, because it's all been jacked up for me. But we're on Lake Fairview in Central Florida, this beautiful lake. I've been here once, and it was a couple years ago, so I don't know a lot about this lake, but we're gonna go out and see what we can do. It's definitely the clearest lake in this area that I've seen. Look at this water quality, guys. I can see my trailer all the way underwater, which I can't do on any lake at the ramp. So there she is. We are gonna brave the weather because I am the people's champ. I bring you the content that I know you guys want to see. We're gonna see what we can do out here. It's a deep lake. It's got structure. It's got cover, a lot of grass. It seemed like it was pepper grass the last time I was out here. And we're gonna work outside edges. We're gonna do some scanning, see if we can see some bait and some fish, work that, and then look at some tapering spots, some flats, flat points, flat contour areas that may be leading up to spawning areas where these fish may be starting to migrate. Other than that, I don't know, bottom, and then a lot of moving up top. So let's go get at it. We'll see you in a minute. Let's go catch some. So this lake's pretty freaking crazy. So I mean, we got 22 feet out here, and it's just several, I mean, just a slow taper and then bigger tapers, so different drops, but you got grass all the way out to 22 feet. So even in 10, you've got like 6-7 feet of grass. You can see the grass here. So really, this time of year, it seems like you want to get on the outside of the grass edges, whatever depth that is. But unfortunately here, you don't really have that hard edge. I didn't even really notice where the hard edge was, or the solid, and then it's just tapering grass because there's so much freaking grass. So we're just gonna work around right here. I saw some fish in the grass, but you know, it's kind of hard to tell what they are. I don't know if I said we got a 5 to 10 mile an hour east-northeast wind, and it's 7 to 8 now. I mean, it's on the upper end, and it's gonna stay that way. So there's some. Can't really get around a grass edge. You know, you don't have like a nice grass edge in 10 here. You just have a lot of grass scattered everywhere. And as you get deeper, it's just shorter. So throwing this fluke right now just to see if we can get a reaction bait and kind of get a depth situation, and we'll kind of go from there. Kind of staying in 7 as of now. I feel like these fish would want to be deep though. So much for that. This rod's so light that 3/16 actually feels really heavy. very big, but first fish of the day. He's warm. That's interesting. He's warm. We're in 14 feet. I rolled up in that grass. Pretty. Threw a fluke kind of over it and around it. There's a bunch of little drops. It gets deeper, but the grass is still pretty high. You know, it's like 2 or 3 foot over the grass, and you got 3 or 4 foot over the grass. I moved out to where the grass is lower. Like right now I'm kind of on the line because we're in 14, but the grass is like in 9, topped out at 9. So we got 4 or 5 foot of grass, and then you get out to 15 and you got like 2 foot of grass. So just kind of work around here, see if we run into something. There's bait around in the areas, but I mean nothing significant because you got so much grass. But I would think these fish, being that one's warm out here, it's kind of interesting. The last group of fish on a different lake I caught 14 feet were super cold. It makes me think they were moving out, and these have kind of, you know, are sitting on the edge. Fishing a new rod I got, Favorite Rush. They were on sale around Christmas. 7.3 heavy. It's only rated up to 5/16 though. Super balanced. Fluky. There's 6.5 feet. Spot up here. Little fluky. This is smoke. So delicious. So I give it a couple twitches and I wash my line. Oh, there it is. Where are you at? Jerked out of my hand. Little. Ain't liking the way this. There we go. I have a decent fish. As soon as they hit the water. Maybe I need to. Oh, there's a pier. They spawning on Fairview. Good Lord, buddy. Like that. Don't waste all your stuff. Not big, but jacked it as soon as it hit the water. Interesting. First panfish. Ooh, there he is. Here we go. Texas rig. Cinco Mardi Gras. You like that, didn't you, buddy? These fish are shallower than I would have thought. It's put it that way. 60.9. But he wasn't cold. There he is. That's a good one. He's okay. This one, close to maybe the best one of the day. Get in here. Dark Joker. It's a decent little one. 2 pounds. Not what we're looking for though, boys. Not what we're looking for. Goodness. Solid, bro. That fish was solid. Cold. Pier. Look at that. Interesting. Another pier. He knocked the stuffing out of that thing. Small. That's cool. Nothing better than watching your line just take off. Long and skinny and freezing cold and peeing. Another pier. Wow. These males are up here. Small males. Best one today. Speed worm in his face, boys. Skinny. Long skinny, dude. But not unhealthy skinny. Just skinny. I mean, he didn't have a big head, so he doesn't look like a big old fish, just a healthy male. Speed worm. Let's see if we got some fishes over here. This boat over here just turned my direction. Good one. That's a good one, guys. Not a great one, but a good one. Horrible boat flip. Horrible boat flip. Well, we found us a little nook. If we work it slow, that's a pretty one. Fat. Guy's gonna come over here in a minute. Look at that, guys. Pretty. Little guy. Little but chunky. Nice. Lake Fairview bass biting in the ColdFront. Well, I thought we were gonna have a 1-2 punch, but I had to go and add a third, didn't I? So they're hitting this little speed worm out towards the middle of the contours. Actually, I'm probably And this little speed worm just works slowly on that grass and then to the open areas. And this water's a lot darker out here than it is shallow and around that grass. So I put that, I think it's candy bug. It's like black with purple. 14 foot of water. Oh, there it is. Oh, that must have been grass. He stopped it. Huh. That's interesting. I see no grass on there. He like stopped. Stopped chattering, everything. There he is. There we go. Oh, that's a good one, guys. Stay on, stay on. Choked it too. Get in here. These fish are shallow, dude. Look at that chatterbait, guys. That is choked. You want to talk about choked? Look at that, guys. Choked. Dang, I can't even get him a hook. Give me my bait, bro. Wow. Look at that, guys. It's healthy. 3-pounder probably. A little over 3. Pretty fish. We'll keep it. There we go. Thud. Alright. Alright, guys, we are out. So that was a fun day, guys. I do want to go over some of my setups and just kind of the areas. It was slow tapering banks. I moved up and I caught fish in like the 6-7 foot range all the way out to about 14 and a half feet. Never found any groups outside grass lines. And then the areas I just worked, they had a lot of grass. Once you got away from the grass, as you moved down the bank, there would be areas that didn't have grass, and it looked like it was sandy, but kind of mucky bottom, because you'd see white areas, not like beds, but just clean areas, but it had like algae on it or shorter, really shorter grass. Didn't catch any around there. Then I moved into that second lake, and then around that point, a lot of grass in there as well. And then, you know, I moved out to that kind of 14 feet again, and found some openings. There was a lot of grass in the middle of that canal, but it was kind of the flat, as there were multiple taperings away from that middle section and then some holes. But worked that speed worm, which was the small speed worm, 3/16 ounce. And then in that black and purple, I think it's candy bug, like I said, 3/16 peg, 4/0 EWG hook, 15-pound fluorocarbon. Threw that chatterbait, got the best one of the day. I love this little bait. It's the OG chatterbait, sexy shad color, and then I have a 4-inch sexy shad storm largo on the back. That's a really cool bait. I like to throw when they're feeding on thread fins. And then that fluke, that was probably the best part of that day, the funnest part, because I haven't thrown this in 3 to 5 years. Seemed like I threw it once when I first moved here, because the wind was really low. But that was that storming or smoking shad. I don't know if y'all gonna see that. It's the real bait fish looking color. It's got some blue glitter, and I had it on 15-pound fluorocarbon. This is a different color that I use on a different lake, but I got a 4/0 EWG hook on it, but I'm using that swivel, and I have about, I don't know, 12, maybe 8 to 12 inch leader between that, and that gives me some weight and helps me eliminate line twists. Now I also hooked it upside down. Now a buddy of mine has been telling me, that's how he does it and how he was told to do it, and it works really well. And he's seen it catch him when hooking it upside down won't work. So I did it like that, and to me that's better for like keeping it higher in the water column. It doesn't, it'll kind of, you got that flat down to the bottom, so it'll keep it higher and keep it on top so you can work it, you know, closer to the surface. And I really wasn't trying to do that, and this will kind of defeat that purpose of keeping it high because it'll cause it to kind of sink down a little bit. But I mean, if you notice when a shad dies, they usually don't, even if a fish tank, in a fish tank, if you have fish that have died, if they go up, they're not usually sinking belly down. They're usually sinking head and back down. So, I mean, that might help too. Super clear water. I think that's why it was really good. And I mean, a fluke, I kind of forgot how well you can kind of, with this, with the right setup, with this reel, you can throw it really good in the wind. And it's not like a Senko where you need it to not just get pushed around because you're working it more. You can let the wind throw it around because that's what a bait fish is gonna do. And you're working a little faster, so that wind is not as big of an issue as I feel like when you have like a wacky rig or just a weightless Texas rig Senko, that you just don't have the feel, and because you're not really using it as a jerk bait. But I really like that, especially around all that thick grass, because not a lot of things you can use, and you know those bait right now, those fish right now are feeding and they're looking up. So really worked. Didn't get me any of the bigger ones, but it got me fish and it kind of put me on a pattern and a depth range. So when I moved to an area, I caught a fish either on this or the Senko. And the Senko I was throwing on a 3/16 ounce weight. I think I had 15 pound test as well in that Mardi Gras color, which is a watermelon with purple and gold glitter. I'd fish one, catch one. If I didn't catch another one, I'd switch. Or if I didn't get a bite at all, I'd switch. And I just rotate in every area that I kind of caught fish once I found them. And then, like I said, I moved out. That water was a little bit dirtier. It was a little more stained once you got out in the middle of that canal because that wind was blowing in there. The grass was, like I said, was thick out there, but the water was a lot darker, so I went to that darker color. So good day overall. It was a fun day. I mean, obviously it was cold, but when you get on some fish in those conditions, that's always good. But like I said, it's been tough for me. When it's windy and cold, it usually is tough, but those fish are focused in certain areas. So when or if you were able to find them in those conditions, you can really have an amazing day. I mean, I love fishing really high wind days because those days are usually your best days if you can find where they're at. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time on Be Mize Fishing. We out.